What's up, y'all? Bring you guys another video. So, what if, and this is a big if, what if Saul Canelo Alvarez, the number one pound for pound king in the sport of boxing, loses to Avni Yildirim? Now, before I get more into the video, I just want to say thank you. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe for more boxing and please hit that like button. It helps out the video, it helps out the channel. I'd really appreciate it. So as we all know, this weekend, this Saturday on the 27th of February, we have a big card taking place over in Texas. Not Texas, Florida, excuse me. Wrong state, Florida. With obviously the main event, Canelo versus Yildirim, and as well as a very decent card with Martinez Arroyo. We have Zhang Forrest, we have Castro fighting in this card, we have Pacheco fighting this card. It's a pretty good card in my opinion, if you ask me, as a boxing fan. And I'm very excited to watch this event, to watch all these fights live on the zone. I called off from work just to be able to watch this fight on the zone and enjoy my night of boxing, man. So I'm very excited. If you guys don't know, both fighters recently had their not weigh-ins. Jesus, I'm saying the wrong words lately. I apologize. They recently had their face-off, where they face off for the first time in a long time. If you guys don't know, they used to spar back in the day, and this is them. And recently at the stadium where they'll be fighting at is where the Miami Dolphins play at. And as you guys can see, Avni Yildirim obviously is taller, and he actually looks pretty big, naturally bigger. It looks big, a lot bigger than Canelo. But then again, as we all know, Canelo, his size isn't really that big in terms of height at 168 pounds compared to the other 168 fighters. His height is smaller compared to the other 168 fighters. His last few fights have been evidence of that. So anyway, I just thought I'd bring up the discussion on what if he loses, Canelo loses. If you guys haven't seen my prediction video on this fight, you guys know that I'm picking Canelo to win this fight. Should be no problem for him. Should be able to go out there, outbox, outsmart, outpower Avni Yildirim. At least in my opinion. Stylistically speaking, this fight favors Canelo a lot. Avni Yildirim, it's a perfect fight for him. It should be a W. I'm very confident that Canelo will pull off the win. And it looks like everybody is pretty confident that Canelo is going to win. I haven't really seen anyone picking Avni Yildirim to win, or is confident that Avni Yildirim will win this fight. Canelo is a big favorite, at least on paper he is. But somehow, let's say if somehow Avni Yildirim lands a big shot on Canelo, and Canelo gets hurt, gets knocked out, and all that, I'm sure that all the haters will be very happy, because those are pretty much the only people right now who I'm saying. A lot of people are saying Canelo wins. Canelo will win this fight, no problem. But what the fuck, man? This fight sucks. Like, what are you talking about, man? This fight is gonna be pure entertainment. Yes, it's gonna be a one-sided fight, at least in my opinion, but it will be a very entertaining one-sided fight. And haters are gonna hate. Haters are gonna hate. They'd love to see Canelo lose this fight, and I don't know why. I don't know why you'd like to see Canelo lose. And wouldn't you want him to win so that he can fight your favorite fighters like Benavidez, like Charlo, like Plant? Wouldn't you want Canelo to win so that your other favorite fighters, will have a chance of beating him? Because if he loses this fight, like I said earlier, that's a big if. It prevents fights, the big fights from happening, the bigger fights from happening. As we all know, he's already pretty much set to fight in May against Billy Joe Saunders, and he's pretty much looking at his eyes at Caleb Plant for September. He wants to be undisputed. He's made that very clear, and the other champion other than Billy Joe Saunders at 168 pounds is Caleb Plant. So chances are Caleb Plant is next in line after Billy Joe Saunders in September. So it just baffles my mind that haters are just gonna keep hating, man. I mean, all these years of making YouTube videos, I shouldn't be surprised at this point. As a boxing fan, as a hardcore boxing fan, I shouldn't be surprised of haters being haters. But it still surprises me that, and it's kind of sad in a way too, because, well, now that I think about it, it's all part of boxing, right? It's all part of the sport. It's all part of the sport. Being a fan of the sport, being a fan of fighters, whether you are a Canelo fan, Yildirim fan, or whoever fighter you're a fan of, the fans talking, the fans sharing their opinion, like myself. It's all part of sport. You know. Anyway, just a realization I had this talking. Um, I'm excited for this fight. I really am. I don't think Canelo is gonna lose. Um, I actually want Canelo to win. I'm gonna be all honest. I want Canelo to win this fight. As much as I love upsets, I want Canelo to win this fight because there are big fights out there that I'm very interested to see. I want to see Canelo fight Saunders. I want to see him fight Caleb Plant. I want to see him fight one of the Charlo brothers. I want him to see him fight Triple G again. I want to see all these fights. And to me, I just consider this fight a stay busy fight, and that's what it is. Let's be honest, it's a stay busy fight. Canelo is the big favorite in paper. On paper, he should be able to go out there and beat Avni Yildirim. But this sport is very unpredictable, man. I think it, if you've been a fan of the sport, is anything can happen. Anything's possible. But with that being said, we still look at it. We still have to predict, looking at previous fights, their skill set, their knowledge of boxing, what they've done before. I mean, Yildirim hasn't done that much. He hasn't fought in more than a year. He's definitely gonna have some ring rust. He's gonna lose his fight. If he pulls off the big upset, good for him. Pulling off one of the biggest upsets in the sport of boxing, bringing glory and victory to his country. That would be big for Turkey, man. That would be huge, huge for Turkey. That would help boost the sport of boxing in Turkey. But we'll see. Let me know your thoughts. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And like always, have a great day. All right, thanks.